Hey there crew, it's Mark, and in today's video we're going to be talking about why we journal and how we fit it into our lives. And I use we because I invited my buddy Matt from Desktop Nerd over today to share a little bit about his background and how he's discovering journaling for himself now. Now Matt and I have become fast friends over the past year. We have a lot of stuff in common. We're both lefties, we both have backgrounds in design, we love stamps, we love stationery and fountain pens, but more importantly, we love journaling, but he has a completely different need than I do. And so he's going to share his background and story today and how he's been exploring that, as well as setting up a really cool December spread for content. Now for myself, I'll be sharing my story later on, and I'll be setting up a December weekly spread just to grant a little bit of inspiration, but talk about my flow and how I work and why I like journaling and how I fit it into my life. I wanted to create this to show you that you can have two very like-minded people. You and I can be exactly the same in our loves for things, but we have different needs for journaling, and being able to find our own reason is super important. And especially as we're going into our new year, it's a perfect time to figure it out for yourself. So go ahead and throw it over to Matt.
G'day, I'm Matt from Desktop Nerd. Why do I journal? Well, that's an interesting question, and I guess it's different for everyone. But for me, I tend to overthink things a lot, which leads to procrastination and forgetfulness. My journaling is a mixture of a couple of different things. I brain dump thoughts. I use it for little to-do lists and reminders. And of course, I use it to rant, to get those negative thoughts out of my head that should probably come out, but not verbally. Typically, I am a long-form writer. I'm not a planner as such. I don't class my to-do lists as planning. They're more just little gentle reminders and little things to tick off that make me feel good about myself. As I progress along this whole social media and content creation journey, I'm finding that I need to almost have a planner to keep track of everything, but not quite. I'm retired, so I don't have the need to jot down meeting times and notes and all of that kind of stuff that a planner would typically be used for. But I can definitely see the benefit of having some of the elements. So what do? Do you start a separate notebook for these things, or do you keep it simple like I like to do? I prefer to keep things simple and have it all incorporated into one book. And that's what I decided to do. I looked at the whole bullet journaling method, with the help of Mark, of course, and a lot of YouTube videos and research, and I almost pulled the trigger on starting my own bullet journal. But the thing that kept holding me back was the fact that it felt like I was trying to fit my planning and journaling system into someone else's system that was probably just going to be done for the sake of doing it. So what I decided to do was identify some elements, some key elements that I think I would benefit from, and incorporate those into the system that I already have. So it's a pseudo bullet journal type setup, and I'm sure it will evolve as I progress and start using it more. So I use a DocGrid A5 journal. I'm not brand loyal when it comes to journals, but I do like good paper. I do use fountain pens. I do prefer to use fountain pens in my journal, so a good paper helps with that a lot. I use the DocGrid paper because as a graphic designer, that kind of grid system helps me lay things out in a logical order that just makes sense to me. And I like straight lines. I like boxes. I like grids. I use stamps a lot. I don't draw in my journal so much. I don't put a lot of stickers and tape and stuff into my journals, so I tend to steer away from that. But I do like stamps. The stamping adds just a little touch of flair to what would be an otherwise uneventful page of writing. And why not? You know, there's no rules. I could get arty-er with it, but that's not the purpose of my journal. My journal is a place for me to write. It's not a place for me to get arty. I do have other avenues to get my creativity out, and I think that's why I started the content creation in the first place, because I enjoy the video making, and I'm not a colorist. I don't add a lot of color into my journals whatsoever, apart from potentially, changing my fountain ink color from one day or 1 week to the next. That's just a mood thing. We all go through that, but typically I try and stick to monochromatic. Just keep it nice and simple. I'm all about the simple. Black ink, black stamp. If you want to mix it up, you can do like I did here. I stamped it onto a scratch piece of paper first, and then stamped it into my journal so it wasn't quite so heavy. It just kind of stops that stamp from becoming a focal point, which is not what I really want. So I've created rows of checkboxes on the right-hand side of the page for my content creation. So the steps are filming or creating the actual reel itself, the editing, publishing or scheduling of those reels for that content. And then the last row is to check if it's an affiliate related content or not. And that's just for my reference. That's just a visual reference so that I can spread the love over the businesses who help support my channels. The checkboxes are rough and I do that on purpose. That's so I'm not being overly precious with it. This is a journal that I use and write in. I'm not trying to make a masterpiece. And if I find that if I keep elements like these little checkboxes intentionally rough around the edges, I don't feel precious about it. I'm not trying to colour them in perfectly. As long as they all line up and they look okay, then that's all right with me. If you don't think bullet journaling will fit into your lifestyle, there's nothing saying that you have to use it. Or it's a pretty complex system. It's pretty complicated for someone who's trying to jump into that pool. If you just have a plain old ordinary journal and you just write in it for your own mindset or your own benefit, but you need something to just help you check off tasks or keep track of appointments, whatever. You can take little elements of your bullet journal or any other system for that matter and include them into the book. You don't need to use the system as a whole. And I think that was a revelation for me because I knew I needed some kind of system to help me keep track of things, but I didn't need to commit to the entire bullet journal system. Just remember, it's your journal, it's your planner. You can do it however you like. You can get arty with it. You can keep it simple. You can use pencil. You can use fountain pens. You can just, as long as you're happy with it and it works for you and you enjoy using it, that's the main thing. If there's some benefit out of it, that's even better. For me, the journal is something that I pick up and touch every single day of the week. I didn't actually pick up a notebook and start writing anything in it until 2021. And back then it felt very foreign to me. The concept was felt very strange. So what I did to combat that was I didn't pick up an A4 or an A5 size notebook. I picked up a small field notes notebook, equivalent to like a B6 size or something like that, I think they are. And I started writing in those. The pages are small. I found that I could fill them up rather quickly, which gave me a sense of achievement. And it was just a habit that formed. I kept doing it. And then I started to enjoy it. And then I started to notice a benefit from it. And then I kept going back to it. I kept wanting to go back to it. And then I discovered the benefit of having a somewhat clearer mind. If you've got any questions, either hit Mark up because he has all the answers. He's the Jedi Master of planners. I'd just like to thank Mark for giving me this platform to share a little bit of my story. You can find me on Instagram at Desktop Nerd. I'd love to see you there. If you have any questions, please drop me a DM. Bye for now.
I love the way Matt's spread looks. I'm going to have to write that one down and try that for myself in my bullet journal. I appreciate him sharing his approach to journaling because it is a bit different, even though he and I are very much alike. So let's go ahead. I'm going to tell you about my journaling experience, why I journal, how I've come into it, and how I think about it, as well as setting up a really cool December weekly spread as well to complement his December content spread that he just created. So my bullet journal journey and journaling as a whole started a little over 7 years ago when I was searching for some type of a method or something that could help me out at work. I've always tried to find different productivity methods. I love the idea of them. I started digital, just writing things down on an iPad, taking things into a notebook, trying action notebooks, but never really knew what was going to work out for me. And even when I tried them, I didn't keep the consistency to really make them work. And when I discovered the bullet journal method, I actually put it off for a number of years because it looked too complex. But once I really sat down with it and understood how this actually works, it just made so much sense to me. And it's something that I've been doing for over 7 years now. I use my bullet journal almost exclusively for work. That's the reason that I started using a bullet journal altogether, to manage the task and the notes and the reoccurring meetings and things that go on. And that's why I love it so much. But really the reason I think I keep coming back to it, regardless of how many other planners I test or try, is that I can make it exactly what I want it to be. And that, I think, is the most important part of bullet journaling, is that you can make it what you want. So for myself, I like grids, I like layouts, I like fonts. And over time, I started to discover other things I enjoy, like fountain pens and hand lettering, not having to be calligraphy lettering. That was a big thing for me. I discovered my love for inks and different types of stationery, and being able to add all of those things into a journal that also is meeting my needs creates perfection for me. When I started bullet journaling, I decided that I was going to really focus on three main things. First was going to be grids and layouts, because a lot of the bullet journals that I was seeing online at the time were missing some of that structure. They had it to a certain extent, but they were kind of glorified lists to a certain extent with a lot of decoration on them. And I thought, that's great. That looks cool. I understand what they're trying to do here, but I don't think that that's for me. So when I started to lay out my pages, I focused first on what I actually needed. And a lot of it was focusing on tasks and things that I had to do for work. And then also the notes, the meetings, the recurring things that were happening too. And when I started to play around with these layouts, I really found my love, because I could figure out week to week what I was focusing on and how much space I needed for that. There's some weeks inside of my bullet journal where I know that it's going to be task heavy and I need to leave plenty of room for task and what's going on. There's some weeks when there's less tasks, but more notes that maybe can happen. And everything in between, just have this huge library of different notebooks that I've used and bullet journals and layouts that I go back to often for inspiration. And the thing that I also really enjoy is that you can keep the same layout, but just by including different types of materials, pens, stamps, stickers, whatever you want, your whole page can have a totally different feeling, even if it's a common layout that you use over and over again. It wasn't until a few years ago that I started to focus a little bit more on the mental wellness part of journaling. It had always been very focused in task-based and note-based things. But when I started to include things like reflection pages and setting intentions for my week, that mindfulness really started to just add onto the greatness that I already was getting from my bullet journal. Writing things down has also been incredibly important for me, and I'm a true believer that you should enjoy the art of writing. And you don't have to always use a fancy pen to do that, but a really good inky pen just makes you feel good. And I love finding pens and using different ones, and over the years I've had so many ride or dies that have just been it for me. And most recently moving into using more fountain pens and customizing kind of that personality of the pen mixed with the ink, plus the things that I just like to use, just makes me so happy to be using those. But more than anything, regardless of what I'm using, writing down things is really important for me. And I discovered that a number of years ago, especially when I moved into the workforce and realized that I couldn't live out of my inbox. That was causing a lot of stress and anxiety. I was missing things. Due dates were passing and I totally forgot that I needed to get something done. I needed a way to capture that. So bullet journaling for me has been it, because I can easily write that down in my task list or notes or wherever I need to do that. I can highlight it if I need to, call attention to it, whatever is going to visually help me make sure I remember the things that have to be done. When I first started sharing my bullet journal online, of course, I was comparing myself to everything else that was out there. You see these amazing spreads and these cool collection pages, and you think, okay, what can I put inside of my bullet journal next? And I tried so hard to fit into the mold that everyone else was doing. Don't get me wrong, I love idea generation. I love including those types of things, but over the past 7 years, I've really noticed what I actually need in my bullet journal and then what's just kind of fun to have in my bullet journal. I don't feel forced to put anything in there anymore if I don't want to. When I first started bullet journaling, it was very straightforward. It was a favorite pen that I had and a ruler and my notebook, and that's all that I felt like I needed. Sometimes I'd throw in a colored pen or a Tombow or something like that, but I was just really enjoying the craft and the artistry of building out those shapes, thinking about the layout of my pages, and then executing on the task that I was getting done. More than anything, foundationally, my bullet journal has always been function over the visuals. And while I include the visuals very often because they add life and personality to my notebook, I know that foundationally that this will work for me regardless of what extra things I add to my page. Several years ago, I started to dabble with stamps, and when Matt was talking about this earlier, they really are just a great and easy way to put something down on the page. If you're not a person that likes to draw or doodle, honestly, stamps are a great way to go. Sure, they can get a little bit messy sometimes, but that's just a part of their charm. As with anything, practice makes perfect, and even when you think you've got it down, you're going to drop that stamp on your page and make a mistake, especially when you start using things like fountain pens and ink and dip pens. You're gonna make mistakes. And I think at this point in my life now, like, I'm okay with that. Often I actually include those inside of a lot of my plan with me's and my photos, because that's reality. And that's what I like to show in my bullet journal, and especially when sharing things online, is just the reality of what it's like to have a bullet journal and what it can be, not what certain people think it should be. I don't personally think that it should be perfection. Matt mentioned this while he was talking before too, that his boxes are perfectly imperfect, for an example, because it doesn't need to be pristine, but it has an aesthetic to it that works for him and he likes it. And discovering that and finding that is all a part of the creativity, I think, with the bullet journal. Again, creativity doesn't mean to be artistry. It can just be how you like to draw your box or put a small little colored drop shadow underneath something. It doesn't need to be a full-blown illustration page unless you like that kind of stuff. Recently, a lot of my pages have been pretty straightforward. I love Monday through Friday weekly spreads in my bullet journal. It does exactly what I need it to do. I can mark when I have events or meetings that I need to go to. I leave plenty of space for tasks. It's just a running list of things that are going on. I leave plenty of space for notes, and reoccurring meetings have their own collection pages that I can refer to as I'm going throughout my week. And then just a few years ago, I started to include my capacity tracking for my team in my bullet journal instead of holding it in a separate notebook. I capture this every single week for my team, and I often will be asked what people's capacity are now. So if someone is over capacity for 3 weeks in a row, I can easily just flip between my pages and see that, and I can easily find it through my index or just knowing what my pages are in order. Matt mentioned it too. I'm not a big colorist person, but every now and again, I will add a little pop of color. I think my biggest reason for not adding extra color is that I am color deficient. So a lot of the times I think that I might be grabbing a blue marker and it's actually purple, or I think I'm grabbing something yellow and it's actually green. And I'm never very confident in myself in the colors that I'm choosing. That's why often I stick with colors that have labels on them or honestly that I just know are right. Often I'll actually separate my pens and my markers, and then that just helps me kind of go and grab for them and feel comfortable and confident in using them. But more than anything, similar to what Matt said, you have to find a notebook and a style that works for you. Stop forcing yourself to feel like you have to fit into other people's boxes, but certainly use others for inspiration. I think that's the fun part of this community. That's what I love the most about it, is sharing and talking about it. And hopefully that some of the things that we shared today, and even these layouts that we did while we were talking, help you, inspire you, and if you aren't doing it yet, maybe will influence you to give it a try. Thanks again to Matt for sharing his story, and I hope that you found a little bit of inspiration both through the spreads that we created, but also our stories as well. And we would love to hear from you down in the comment section. Let us know how you've come into journaling, how you've made it your own, and if you're still struggling with it, if you have any questions, let us know, and we'll be answering those questions as well. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today, crew, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya.